New videos every day.
Hello and welcome, I'm Curt Darling and I am here with the lovely Karina, and what we have is a sexy, quick, messy updo, and this one has been finished with a curling iron. And so I wanted to share with you a couple of quick curling iron tips to make your fast, sexy updo just that little bit more, say, red carpet. Okay, so one of the first things I wanted to mention, curling iron faux pas. If you start wrapping the hair around the iron and so forth, you might get this very contrived type of curl. And what we want is a sexy, more irregular type of curl. The reason why we're curling curly hair, ironically, is because the heat actually smooths the cuticle and creates this more of a dramatic shine. You just don't get that from blow drying or applying a little bit of product. The heat actually smooths the cuticle. So that's the first thing that you're looking for to get that red carpet sort of shine. The next thing, instead of conventionally wrapping it around the iron as you might normally do so, what we were looking at is wrapping it by hand around the iron so you can get a little bit more of an irregular effect that falls onto a spiral. So wrapping it around the iron is a technique we'll be looking at in this video to create this type of effect. And another tip that I'd like to share is the actual placement of the iron, so that you're not going to see the iron up on an angle like this. You're going to see the iron actually simulating how the hair falls. That way you don't get a crazy outward movement from the hair. There's nothing like ironing the hair to go outward like a horn. That would be a mistake. So you'll notice that when I'm using the iron, I'm coming in with the base, it's actually angling downward in the direction you want it to fall, and then as the hair wraps around, it's actually ready to fall in the right direction and not boinger. There's no boinger going on, okay? So we're going to be looking at the use of the curling iron, the dramatic shiny effect, and how to take a quick, simple updo and just give it that little bit of something extra that makes it ready for your special event that people go, wow, your hair looks really cool. In this segment, we are going to take a messy updo that you've just created if you've been watching, and now we'll put a little bit more of a finish on it. And so today I wanted to introduce the use of a hot tool, a curling iron, and in this instance, what I'd like to do is take this first piece and start to accessorize this with a little bit more finish. Now the neat thing about hot tools is that the heat actually smooths the cuticle, and in that process makes the hair shiny, more dramatic finish. And so in some instances where you see more of a natural, kind of edgy, more editorial quality, well, if you want a little bit more of a dramatic finish, then what we can start to do here, you don't even have to wind the hair around the iron. You can actually wrap it around like this, in this case, and then you can touch a little bit just to see how hot it's getting. You don't want to overheat the hair, but see, just keeping mindful of the temperature. And then as we pull that away, you start to see much more of a finished effect, a little more of a shiny quality going on in the hair, and we can just let that go. If it was too curled, which is not the case because we have a little bit of a waxy product on here at the moment, but if it was like too perfect, you could start to twist it and pull on it a little bit right off the bat. So now we can take some of these pieces that have been left out, start to wind that around the iron as such. Notice I'm holding the iron down in the direction that I want the curl to fall. So I'm not pointing it upward, and so as I let go, hair's following in that direction. Now you saw which was more of a natural corkscrew turning into a wider, bigger, softer, sexy curl. And I think that's pretty exciting for Karina because naturally she'll be used to the smaller ringlety type of curls. And then with just, why curl your whole head of hair? Why not put the hair up, and when you've got a few pieces left, then go through and start to accessorize those few pieces. A lot of people might set their whole head of hair before they put it up. That's an awful lot of work. And so why not put the hair up first of all, and then simply accessorize the pieces that you're actually going to see. Now we can start to compare the effect going along here. You see the bigger curls, it's shiny, has a smoother quality, and when you compare that with the hair's a little bit more fuzzy nature naturally, you can start to see more of a dramatic finish. Now that's something that might be really nice for photographs, special events, and so forth. So we're taking something that's a little bit more casual and starting to step it up and get a little bit more of a dramatic, perhaps red carpet effect. And we'll go all the way through. You can see a little pin that was added here. We'll just remove that for a moment so I can see the beachy, casual nature of this piece, a little bit more rough. I'm just smoothing it out a little bit with my hands. I don't want it to look too ringlety, too perfect, too curling iron. So I'm just smoothing with my fingers and keeping some of that natural texture. Then I'm winding down. As I mentioned, the iron is pointing downward, so it's not going out, creating some kind of horn or something like that. If you've ever got the notorious curl horn coming off your head, it's relative to the over direction of the actual strand. So having that going down in the natural direction, now you can see much more of a polished, cleaner finish. And that might be what you're looking for that special occasion, to take a little bit of that casual nature off of the situation. Voila, so with that, if you like what you're seeing, you can add a little bit of your favorite hairspray. At this point, this is finishing. We don't need a working spray. You can use something quite strong, lock that into place, and now you have a little bit more of a dramatic quality to these pieces. And then finally, through the side, you can see this one is maybe a little bit coming out from the head a little bit. Just take that pin and maybe tuck that one back in as it was earlier, so it stays a little closer to the head. Voila. I'm Curt Darling. I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to comment on this style, I'd love to hear what you have to say. I would enjoy to see you subscribing to the channel if you've enjoyed what you've seen. I'd like you to give me the thumbs up and visit me on curtdarling.com. Thank you.